way.
Attention!
And Right, what now? Never wanted the easy path. Seems simple enough.
We'll have to wait. I can't talk right now.
Spare me a moment, if you please. I've something important to discuss with you. We've been traveling together for a while now, and it's just about time that I shared something with you. It's a rather personal matter that I'd have preferred to keep quiet, but needs must when the devil drives. I have no choice but to speak. You see, I have this condition. Very different from the parasite we share, but just as deadly. The specifics are rather personal, but suffice it to say that it is a malady I've learned to live with, though not without some effort. What it comes down to is this. Every so often, I need to get my hands on a powerful magical item and absorb the weave inside. I can say no more on the matter. Not now, anyway. Just trust me when I say it's all of vital importance. It's been days since I last consumed an artifact, since before we were abducted. It is time, and by that I mean it's imperative that I find and consume strands of weave at the earliest possible juncture. We've already done the finding. In fact, you have one in your possession. You know for yourself how hard-won such an item was, and it will be no easier when even more are required to assuage my hunger. There'll be danger involved, or great cost. I know that what I ask may seem unreasonable, but I promise I only make such a request because it is so incredibly important. Please, trust me. Your help could be the difference between life and death. Please, trust me. Your help could be the difference between life and death.
Could try to push further, but your holdover gale feels brittle. It won't be easy delving deeper without him noticing. You become one with Gale's mind. and you can feel something sinister oppressing you. It's inside of you. A mighty darkness radiating from your chest. You could try to push further, but your holdover gale feels brittle. It won't be easy delving deeper without him noticing. You see through Gale's eyes, staring down the corridors of a dread memory. A book, bound, and suddenly opened. Inside there are no pages, only a swirling mass of blackest weave that pounces. Its teeth, its claws, it's unstoppable as it digs through and becomes part of you. And gods, is it ever hungry.
Keeping me in suspense, are you? Come on, tell me. Do we have an agreement or not? As luck would have it, you're already primed to give me exactly what I need. Of course. I would hate for you to think me impatient or ungrateful. I shall persevere, for now.
Another step forward.
It was bad enough having just one of those tadpoles forced upon us. I can scarcely believe you actually inflicted another on yourself. Quite the understatement, but yes, I have it. And I'll guard it with my life. I was part of a group sent by my cloister. We were to take the artifact from the Githyanki and bring it to Baldur's Gate, no matter the cost. Though it turned out the cost was very steep. I was the only one of the group to survive. I took the artifact and fled, only to be ensnared by mind flayers before I could finish the mission. That's all I know. That's all I need to know. Because it's safer that way. We had our memories suppressed before the mission. That way, none of us could betray the Dark Lady if we were captured. Shah's secrets must be protected. Duty demands it. Once I fulfill my mission, I can have my memories restored. That's not a luxury open to many people, us included. I have my faith to turn to instead. You should find something of your own. I don't have to explain myself to you. Very well. Perhaps there's potential in you. Let's see how you handle this. I am indeed a disciple of Shah, Mistress of the Night and Lady of Loss. I assume you've heard of her? Well, if that troubles you, perhaps you should fetch the bailiff to arrest me. Ah, but there's no bailiff here, is there? Just leagues of wilderness and the dangers lurking within. We're in this together, but I'll happily go it alone. My faith will keep me company. You already know my biggest secrets. What more can you ask? What, besides my life's calling and the greatest problem I've ever faced? Well, I like night orchids and can't swim. Is that the sort of thing you meant? It's a deal. No, I can't. Quite literally, I mean. With my memory suppressed, I can't betray Shah's secrets. But I can't remember much of myself either. If I manage to return to Baldur's Gate and fulfill Shah's mission, then my memories will be restored. That is not for you to know. Leave it at that. All that's happened. You have a talent for understatement, you know that? Specifics, please. If nothing else, you can at least soak up any arrows that are loosed at us. Pity. You'd started off so well saving my life aboard the Nautiloid. I suppose now I'm seeing the real you. Must I? Thinking about it won't help. We know what to do, so let's do it. Find a way to rid ourselves of these things. There's Volo. If he's as knowledgeable as he boasts to be, perhaps he can help. I'm not too hopeful that a Gith crash will actually prove our salvation, but worth keeping in mind. We go our separate ways, of course. What else? The ties that bind would be well and truly severed. If you must know, Baldur's Gate. And before you ask, no. I'm not telling you what I'm doing there, or who I'm meeting, or anything else. You pry too much. Any further and you'll regret it. Understand? I suppose some would commend our actions. Goblins would have razed that whole place to nothing if it weren't for us. No excuse to rest on our laurels, though. We've still got our own problems to contend with. Fine. What's on your mind? If nothing else, you can at least soak up any arrows that are loosed at us. Pity. You'd started off so well saving my life aboard the Nautiloid. I suppose now I'm seeing the real you.
I should speak up.
Soldier? Funny you should ask. I was just thinking about what would have become of us without that Nautiloid. I mean, I know where I'd be. Trapped in Avernus still, with the Blade of Frontiers on my tail. But what about you? I can picture you getting mixed up in some outrageous shit. Giants, beholders, Thayans, the works. Maybe once we've wrapped up the current shenanigans, we'll rest a bit and find some new heap of troubles to throw ourselves at. Hey, soldier.
Gone gods. Watching you consume that tadpole was more disgusting than the tadpole itself. Though, I suppose that's not what you wanted to talk about. My father once said, "One does not pursue a champion's life. One merely answers its call." So it was for me. I was hunting near the Cloakwood when I heard it. A child crying out from a lone farmstead. I found him in the fields, flanked by goblins. His mother's corpse blared into the soil next to him. I don't remember much of the battle, but I remember drying the boy's tears after. No, but he named me friend, and that meant the world. But what of the others? The children never saved. The cries never heard. In the boy's tears, I finally saw the suffering wrought by the villains of the wild. The frontiers demanded a blade, and so I heeded. It was an even bloodier day, and a stronger foe. It's made from pure bloodstone, carved from the Galena Mountains just north of the Moonsea. A reminder that sometimes blood must be shed and sacrifices must be made. But that story is reserved for lifetime friends and calmer days.
tiny grooved spider across the eye's surface. It resembles a sending stone used to confer with distant contacts.
A sending stone? Nothing so special, I assure you.
You watch and listen for signs of deceit, but sense nothing unusual.
I think that unknowable powers come with unknowable consequences. I can't say I'm not curious, but once you take an illithid by the talon, there's no telling how deep into the abyss it might drag you. Yes, I suppose we should. Though I'm more than a bit wary. Still, I am the Frontier's avowed protector. New dangers require new skills to vanquish them. If the tadpole must be my curse, then let the powers it grants me be the Sword Coast's blessing. I will consume what I must to make it so. The Blade of Frontiers at your calling.
Danger! No good will come of devouring a gate worm, no matter what you might think. Mark my words, this power would be no blessing, but a curse. You might as well ask me to gouge out my eyes for the promise of sight, or slice off my tongue for the promise of taste. Consume all the gate tadpoles you wish. I'm not so craven. Consume all the gate tadpoles you wish. I'm not so craven. Perhaps you... No, that's absurd. When the tadpole has stretched to every pore and slithered through every vein, what am I to do then? It won't hear my screams. It won't care if I beg. I will be remade in its image. My faith in Vlaakith will guide me, and my own might will sustain me. I have no need of this depraved power. You might be right. The Githyanki have long studied Geich and used what we've learned. The Zaithisk itself was devised from such knowledge. The tadpole is perhaps not just a curse, but a weapon I can twist and mold to my advantage. Very well. I will swallow my disgust and avail myself of the parasite's powers. I understand much beyond your comprehension. More to the point, I know the cure for our condition. It is imperative we locate a creche. You do well to observe more and question less. Yes, in great detail. It starts with a fever and memory loss. Then you start to hallucinate. Your hair falls out and you bleed from every orifice. Your bones will change form. Your jaw will split to allow room for 4 great tentacles. All skin will turn to gore and be shed to reveal new flesh underneath. Then you have ceased to exist, and a mind flayer is born. Words forged in steel. May your actions express the same metal. We must find my kind and be rid of the parasite. It's as simple as that. The first symptoms should have long since started, though. That is what puzzles me. Yes, if you give it no further thought. But anomalies lead to surprises. Bad surprises. Besides, what hasn't happened may yet come to pass. We have yet to find Zoru. Or have you so quickly forgotten? He has seen my people, and where we find Githyanki, we will find their creche.
Breathe deep and move.
What's to tell? I was sired by a vampire named Cazador. Everything before that is so long ago it's ancient history. And everything that came after, well, I'd rather not reflect on it. I was attacked. A gang of vagrants, a tribe of wandering Gur, took issue with a ruling I'd made. They beat me to death's door when Cazador appeared. He chased them off and offered to save me, to give me eternal life. Given that my choices were eternal life or bleed to death on the street, I took him up on the offer. It was only afterwards I realized just how long eternity could be. I was a magistrate, working to keep the peace in Baldur's Gate, imprisoning troublemakers, that kind of thing. I can't remember much, truth be told. Centuries of torment will do that to you. It's simple. Just find a vampire that will drink your blood and turn you into a vampire spawn. Their obedient puppet. In theory, the next step is to drink their blood. Once you've done that, you're free and a true vampire. Yes and no. The problem is, once you're a vampire spawn, they completely control you. They have to allow you to bite them. And why would they do that? Vampires are power-hungry creatures. They won't lose a servant to create a competitor. Trust me, it doesn't happen. No innocence. You have my word. Only villains that we need to kill anyway. After all, you know what I am now. I can fight with all my weapons, teeth included. And if I happen to drain the occasional bandit during a fight, what's the harm? They're just as dead. As am I. I'm starting to feel a little peckish already. Why do you insist on exhuming the past? I was a slave. A vampire spawn. Kept by the Tsar family. Perhaps I still am. I was never able to resist their commands. But now, I've been conveniently lost. They won't ever control me again. My sweet, there is nothing I'd like more. I'll come to you tonight, when you're snugly wrapped in your bedroll and we can have a little privacy. And this time, I'll make sure I'm quiet. We don't want to disturb your rest. But I will taste you, savor you, just enough to give me strength, and just enough to leave you wanting more.
I need a quick word.
Ah, my good fellow. Quite the cozy setup you have here. I'll just make myself comfortable. Thank you so much. Not yet, I'm afraid. But my expectations are very, very high. Hellsfire. She's coming.
Well, you've been naughty. And you know what happens when you're naughty.
God's damn it. Anyone but her.
You flatterer. Why, if I had a warm heart, I'm sure it would be skipping.
Here we go.
Hellsfire. She's coming.
Well, you've been naughty. And you know what happens when you're naughty.
God's damn it. Anyone but her.
Will, you absolute stinker! You kept me a secret? Time to let the Hellcat out of the bag. Call me Mizora. I'm Will's patron, the fount of his power. My pet's been unruly, and his leash needs a yank. We had a deal, Will. But Karlak's still breathing.
I've taken more pleasant shits than you, Mizora. And at least those can be buried after.
That's no kind of talk for a lady. By the way, Karlak, Zariel sends her regards.
You told me! Devils only! She's a tiefling, not a monster!
How precious. The little pupster's found his bark.
Clause G, Section 9. Target shall be limited to the infernal, the demonic, the heartless, and the soulless.
Karlak meets the criteria by virtue of having no heart. He's the Blade of Frontiers. Devil's plaything, just doesn't have the same ring. Speaking of...
Will burns in the fires of Avernus. The lightning storms of Dis strike his flesh. His soul passes through each layer of the hells, gaining their essence and their torment.
That's better.
What the hells have you done?
A promise broken, a price paid. You know the terms.
Get used to the new form, pet.
There's no going back. Some magic even I can't undo.
Now, let's see how the frontiers fare without their precious blade.
Karlak, keep an eye on him, would you? I'll be keeping mine on you. Oh, and Will, don't forget, our pact still stands. Ta-ta.
Very well.
I'll be honest, soldier. I'm reeling. Will hardly knows me, but he chose my life over his. Been a long time since someone stuck their neck out for me like that. You can say that again. When he was chasing me through Avernus, I thought he was just another sad merc. How wrong I was.
Gods damn her straight back to the hells. Just look at me. I did what was right, and Mizora made me pay for it. I'd be hunting devils and demons, Mizora said. Traitors and hypocrites, heartless evils of all sorts, but not people like you. I swear I didn't know. I'm sorry, Karlak.
Warlock pacts tend to be unforgiving from what you know of them. Will was lucky he didn't face a more severe punishment.
deserve that. Consider me properly shamed. It's Mizora who grants me the power to conjure armor and cast eldritch blasts. Before I was infected, I could even call hell beasts and summon festering clouds. But I promise you, every thrust of my blade and every flame I sparked was for the good of the coast. The one little question that put me out of house and home. I can't utter the terms or circumstances of the pact. I can tell you most all else, but the pact, I'm forbidden, unless Mizora permits it. But I'll say this. The moment I pacted myself to Mizora, I have not regretted for a heartbeat. It was my proudest deed. It was worth the sacrifice. All I can give you on that is my solemn word.
Ah, my good fellow. Quite the cozy setup you have here. I'll just make myself comfortable. Thank you so much. Not yet, I'm afraid. But my expectations are very, very high.
Dog pants through a ball held firmly in his mouth. He relinquishes the ball. It is well chewed and slick with drool.
Ah, my good fellow. Quite the cozy setup you have here. I'll just make myself comfortable. Thank you so much. My research turned up a rather brilliant technique that seems quite actionable. It's not too deep, just behind the orbital socket. I could attempt an extraction. I've a needle in my tunic, after all.
Volo carefully holds one of your eyes open and begins to prod uncertainly with the needle. The needle finds the gap between eyeball and socket. Volo frowns and begins to push. Pain shoots through your body as the needle snags on your optic nerve.
I think I have it!
The needle seesaws back and forth, plucking the nerve like a harp string.
Oh, bother. There's some obstacle in the way. I shall need a more robust implement.
Volo carefully withdraws the needle from your eye. Then, reaching into his bag, he produces an ice pick. Volo slowly brings the ice pick closer to your eye.
Now, don't move.
Cold metal presses against the skin beneath your brow. And then, tap, tap, stab.
Do you feel that? Ha! I think we have the blighter on the run. I agree. It's a feisty critter. Just a little further.
Volo tears the pick from your brain with a violent jerk. Your eye plops down into the mud.
Drat!
He pauses, looks down at your eye, and recoils slightly as it sinks into the mud.
There appears to be an amount of cosmetic damage. Yes, quite. Well, there is some mild trauma. I can't help but feel partly responsible. Perhaps there is something more I can do. Take this. A far superior relic to that old jelly you were chained to. Try it on for size. And, it was very nice to have met you. I'm sure you'll sort out your little brain problem one way or another. Far away from here, if you've a heart. Terribly sorry, my friend. Ta.
I'll balance the odds in our favor.
Wanna dance?
Can't give up now.
Well, well, well.
time to rest. Let's see. One day I'll catch a break.
Another broken trap. These things.
All's well that ends. Not as bad as it could have.
Grab your bags. We're moving.
Don't I know it? But there's 2 more boxes after this one.
Arm yourself. Better to have a weapon and not need it.
Very well.
I expected goblins at our gate any moment. Glad to say that you made a prettier sight.
Pick something realistic. If you can't swing a sword, take a dagger.
Remember, stay near the center of the group, all right? No wandering off.
We're not in the clear. What do you think of opening? Keep sharp until we're standing on.
A scout just reported. The goblins' leadership has been decimated. We might escape this place yet. I took a collection from all of us. It isn't much, but you've earned it. It's not enough, but it's all we have.
Halsin will likely want to thank you too, Mind. He returned just a while ago. I believe he's catching up with Korga. As for us...
No armies at our heels. Amazing. We can finally leave. But perhaps we need not speak of farewells. We'll join your camp tonight to celebrate if you'll have us.
If we get separated or need to break camp fast, remember, find the river and follow it downstream.
We're leaving. Now.
Soldier?
You think we'll stay in Baldur's Gate long?
Of course. It's a big city. Lots of opportunity.
But El Terrell?
Don't let it on your head forever. There we go, boy. Now.
Arm yourself. Weapon and not.
I'm going to have to write a song about you now, aren't I? But truly, thank you. It's nice to be done with the sad songs. For a time.
We did it.
I'll kiss you when you've stopped bleeding, you love.
I'd swear that ox's gaze is following me.
You took it upon yourself to undertake the rite of thorns? To spill blood in this sacred place? It would have been easier if you just died, Korga. Now I have to hear excuses instead.
I owe you nothing. Goblins swarmed us like roaches while you stumbled after the past. You chose to abandon us. I chose to protect us.
Silence! The rite has been ended. I was going to show leniency. But Korga, a child is dead because of you.
A thief is dead. She stole the idol, befouled the grove.
Enough! If anyone befouled this place, it is you. By sowing division, hatred, death. As for the idol, it's nothing compared to a life. A mere object next to one of nature's creations. You show no pity, no remorse. I cannot absolve you. Nature will determine your fate. Whatever happens to you next, know that it is the Oak Father's will. Now get out of my sight. There is nothing more to be said. Apologies for that ugliness. A more bitter homecoming than I would have wished, but at least the grove stands. Thanks to you. Please, don't sully the gratitude I feel towards you by making excuses for Korga. My choice was clear. The grove stands. Nature prevails. I owe you my thanks, and an introduction. I am Halsin, first druid of the Emerald Grove, and I sense you have a problem you seek my help with. That problem. You're infected with the Mind Flare spawn, aren't you? Oak Father preserve you, child. But something's different. You're aware of the monster inside you. You don't bow to the Absolute like the true souls do. How is this possible? Perhaps. But I wouldn't want to place all my faith in blind luck. It's no coincidence that we found each other, I'll wager. You're after a cure for this parasite. Someone is using very powerful magic to modify these tadpoles. They're using them to exert control over the infected. I'm sorry to say, I can't undo that magic. I can't cure you. But that doesn't mean I can't help. At the Goblin Camp, I hoped to find a way to remove the tadpoles. I failed, but I did find the next best thing. I found out where they come from. I will do what I can to help you. Let us speak tomorrow. You and I both have matters to see to first. As for what you've done for the Grove, speak to Wrath. He will see to your reward. And yet save it you did. I am grateful, no matter what your motivations. The journey to Moonrise Towers, and all the dangers that entails. But that's tomorrow's problem. Take some time for yourself tonight. Rest, celebrate. Come morning, I'll be by your side.
Then banish me. When the coming army... Peace. Enjoy it while it lasts.
Your path will soon take you away from the grove, I feel. Your efforts will not be forgotten. Soon. First, I must set matters to rights in the grove. And you should celebrate your victory. After being dormant for so long, your infection is unlikely to produce new symptoms spontaneously. Tomorrow morning, we shall discuss what is to come. And yet save it you did. I am grateful, no matter what your motivations.
You're handsome.
Really?
I am.
Fine. Loosen up, Icaron.
Maybe we should forget the city. Live up here, under the stars.
It's a bed and a roof for me. But off you go, Master Ranger.
Without you? No.
I love you.
I love you.
Goblins swarmed, but we were prey and fried them all with a thunderwave. That's not what happened. Live a little.
Go on now. Don't waste a night like this talking to me. We'll discuss your problem tomorrow. We'll have time to spare for that, I sense. And surprised you haven't had your fill of me already. Ah, I see. Perhaps I can help you with that. Another time. But there are many grateful people here who want to spend time with you. I must not keep you all to myself, as enjoyable as that may be. Go on, enjoy yourself. Seek out some wine before it runs dry. There are a lot of thirsty people around here.
I should be out there, talking with them. In just a moment, maybe.
Enjoy yourself tonight. I'll come and find you in the morning so we can talk.
Frightful and fierce.
You have no idea how good it feels to see these people smiling. The singing we could probably do without, but even so, thank you.
I have seen the Kithraki tear a screaming Nyogi's legs from its belly to fashion into blades, yet they could not match your nerve today. It was enough to drive me to madness. I smell their blood on you still. I smell your sweat. I mean to taste it. Yes. When you lie down for the night, I will come, and I will take what is mine.
Hey, you! Can you keep a secret? Just between you and me, I nicked some wine. When the barrel's tapped out, I'll be there to save the night. For a price, of course.
No, let them have fun. I'll be ruining it come morning anyway.
This might be the wine talking, but I'm feeling inspired. Thinking of writing my next song about you. But I need an angle. Any ideas? Oh, sure, of course. Have a nice night. This might be the wine talking, but I'm feeling inspired. Thinking of writing my next song about you. But I need an angle. Any ideas? Fitting. You're braver than half this camp combined. That deserves to be remembered.
I'm glad you sought me out. Amidst all this merriment, I wasn't sure we'd have a chance to speak this evening. I was hoping you'd spare me a moment. There was something rather magical I wished to show you. More's the pity you've already found someone else to make merry with. Just the two of you. Lae'zel, blade like a razor, wit like a razor, tongue like a razor. I do hope you know what you're doing. Far be it from me, of course, to question your tastes. That, my friend, must remain a secret for now. Or rather, for as long as you've eyes only for someone else among our troop. Another night, perhaps.
Ah, hells. I was hoping you wouldn't notice I was gone. Really? I'm honored. In truth, I don't feel in a festive mood, and I didn't want to cast a grey cloud over the night. I'm a devil. I love the people from the Grove, but I unsettle them deep down, as I seem to unsettle everyone nowadays. You don't want a devil at your party. Horns this sharp will pop the balloons, you see, and the guests won't take kindly to scars quite so monstrous. I feel spikes beginning to sprout in places they really shouldn't. But, off with you. This is your day. Have a dance. Enjoy the music. Some time alone beneath the stars and I'll be back to my old self. Promise. Still, it's a night to remember. You've made sure of that.
Think of it. No more caves, no more tents, no more running away. We'll be in a city with roads and markets and homes.
Fate spins along as it should. Dost thou require a new ally? Or mayhaps a resurrection instead?
Look at them all. Guzzling poison like we've the right to be happy. Look at them all. Guzzling poison like we've the right to be happy. Perhaps it'll make the evening more tolerable.
There's an animal hiding in that shell, I bet.
I don't know what that means.
Have another drink, and you'll know exactly what I mean.
How about
Maybe we should forget the city.
tiefling queen?
Live out here, under the
Frightful
stars.
and fierce.
It's a bed and
That's
a roof
more like
for me.
it.
How many goblins did we kill,
Master
10?
Ranger? Let's make
Without
it 20.
you. No,
That's my girl.
I love you.
Would you look at this place? All these people happy because of us. It's nice to be somewhere where good is still possible. Speaking of, I hate to butt in, but I've seen the way you and Lae'zel have been looking at each other. I like her, and I bet she's a wildcat after midnight, but I'm just not sure I trust her yet. Mind yourself, all right? But hey, at least some of us are getting a little action. Not so much. You spend the whole time avoiding swords and schemes. Plus, people just get nastier as the night wears on. I tried to make friends at first. Learned my lesson fast. Better to keep to yourself in hell. Fuck yes. I'm celebrating my freedom, and our friendship, and these folks' bright future besides. All I need now is a fire-retardant lover to get lost in till sunrise. Come on. I know I'm not really who you're interested in. And anyway, even if I were, you couldn't touch me without getting burnt to a crisp. Enjoy yourself tonight. You've earned it.
Nothing another ale won't fix.
Come on, Alfie, make it spicy.
Right. Hearts a quiver. Raised elbows.
None of that poetic stuff. Something like goblins swarmed, but we were brave and fried them all with a thunderwave.
I can't afford to lose ale.
That's not what happened. Live a little. You're handsome. I am.
Everyone seems to be in high spirits. Strange. You know who I never thought I'd find myself caring for? I wouldn't quite say that. But no, that's not what I mean. I mean, desperate people. Like those refugees. Never gave them much thought. Certainly not that bunch in the grove. Yet we came through for them. We saved their lives. Odd. That's more easily said by some than others. But nobody's here to debate right from wrong. I'd rather enjoy this wine on my own, so find your entertainment elsewhere.
That's more like it. How many goblins did we kill? 10?
We should have had wine more often. More warming than the fire.
Are you weaving, or is it me?
Maybe you should drink some water.
I'm fine. One more. That's all.
You know, I never pictured myself as a hero. Never thought I'd be the one they'd toast for saving so many lives. And now that I'm here... I hate it. This is awful. Enjoy myself? There's a worm in my brain. I'm surrounded by idiots, and All I've got to drink is wine that tastes like vinegar. That means I have to survive tonight. And this party. All I want is a little fun. Is that so much to ask? By the hells. Sex. Passion. Fun. Oh, it's easy for some. I see Lae'zel's marked you as her territory. I just hope she leaves you in one piece. We can't take a 10-day for you to recover from whatever her idea of fun is. I'm sure it'll be adequate. But you go ahead. Have fun.
What are you going to do in the city?
There's always work for a guard.
I can't
You?
afford to lose
I
anyone.
always wanted to sing at the Elf Song Tavern.
If the owner
There's an
has
animal
any
hiding in
sense,
that
they'll hire
shell,
you on the
I
spot.
bet.
I don't know what that means.
Have another drink, and you'll know exactly what I mean.
The buzz of celebration quiets to a soothing hum as you approach your bunk.
Though you seek repose, you needn't spend the night alone.
There is one who yearns for you in the dark. Who will you seek? Your heart skips a beat. What treasures might this night bestow?
I should be out there, talking with them. In just a moment, maybe.
Maybe we should forget the city. Live out here, under the stars.
It's a bed and a...
Sleep alone, uplifted by
Gith train relentlessly. We know our bodies inside and out. Let me show you. Close your eyes and submit.
What path lies before me?
What are you going to do in the city?
There's always work for a guard. You?
I always wanted to sing at
Buzz of celebration quiets to a soothing hum. There is one who yearns for you. Your heart's You've picked up a few pleasant memories on your You sleep alone, uplifted by memories of your recent triumphs.
Gith train relentlessly.
What are you going to do in the city?
There's always work for a guard. You?
I always wanted to sing at the Elf Song Tavern.
If the owner has any sense, they'll hire you on the spot.
Hey, you! Can you keep a secret? Just between you and me, I nicked some wine. When the barrel's tapped out, I'll be there to save the night. For a price, of course.
There's an animal hiding in that shell, I bet.
I don't know what that means.
Have another drink, and you'll know exactly what I mean.
Hope you're enjoying the night, hero. I certainly am. Cheers to many more like this.
Maybe later.
There's an animal hiding in that shell, I bet.
I don't know what that means.
Have another drink, and you'll know exactly what I mean.
That's more like it. How many goblins did we kill? 10? Let's make it 20.
Everyone seems to be in high spirits. Strange. You know who I never thought I'd find myself caring for? Exactly right. Never gave them much thought. Certainly not that bunch in the grove. Yet we came through for them. We saved their lives. Odd. Something like that. I was taught to reject anything that distracted from Shah. But there'll be time for penance later. I'd rather enjoy this wine on my own, so find your entertainment elsewhere?
Need to find a way forward.
Not now.
Maybe we should forget the city. Live out here, under the stars.
It's a bed and a roof for me. But off you go, Master Ranger.
Without you? No.
I love you.
I love you.
What are you going to do in the city?
There's always work for a guard.
Moving ahead.
You?
I've always wanted to sing at the Elf Song Tavern.
If the owner has any sense, they'll hire you on the spot.
Buzz of celebration. There is one who yearns for you in the dark. Who will you seek? Your heart skips a
Gith train relentlessly. We know our bodies inside and out. Let me show you. Close your eyes and submit. I am ready.
You awake in pain. Your back, your hands, even your tongue ache.
It's time to rise. Dawn is upon us. Of course you did. I'm as extraordinary in bed as I am on the battlefield. My hunger is sated for now, yes. I might even lay you again, should my whims so take me. Up now. Your moment's over.
Every breath, every blink proves exhausting. A long day awaits you.
I trust you enjoyed your evening. After all your efforts, it was well deserved. It may be some time before you're afforded another such night. There is much to be done, and I promised I would help you however I could. I'm certain a cure for you can be found at Moonrise Towers, but it's complicated. The journey specifically, it's extremely perilous, though it seems you're well accustomed to navigating danger.
We get a cure, and the chance to hit these arseholes where they live. Sounds good.
To get to the towers, you'll need to pass through a terrible place. A cursed place. This curse shrouds everything in shadow. You will not find life, light, or anything natural there. Any who linger are twisted by the curse. They become shadow beings, tormented, dangerous souls. You could go overland, along the Risen Road or through the mountains. Easier at first, but you'll run into the shadow curse eventually. You could also go under. There is a tunnel somewhere in the ruined Temple of Selûne. It leads to Moonrise Towers through the Underdark. Long ago, a man called Ketheric Thorm built a secret stronghold deep down there, before rallying a whole army of Dark Justiciars, Shah worshippers. Aradin and his lot were looking for a way down there. They were promised riches if they retrieved a relic called the Night Song. But I think there's more. From this stronghold, Ketheric's forces could access both the Temple of Selûne and Moonrise Towers. But he was defeated before he could launch an attack. If you can find this place, I'll wager it will reveal a more direct path to Moonrise Towers. And maybe even bypass the worst of the Shadow Curse. You'll need to pick it up where Aradin left off. Find the hidden entrance. It's somewhere in the Temple of Selûne. Anything is preferable to risking the Shadow Curse. I would like to join your camp, if you'll allow me. I can offer my skills, my counsel. I've long sought to return to Moonrise Towers. It seems our fates have aligned. Unfinished business, and a lifetime of regret to repair. I helped overthrow Ketheric Thorm and his Dark Justiciars years ago, but I failed to prevent him from unleashing darkness across the region before he was defeated. I spent years researching the curse, trying to put an end to it. Nothing has worked. Yet, if I can join you and get close to Moonrise, perhaps I can lift this curse. Same as you may find a cure for your infection. Precisely. Then perhaps I could have done something about both the Shadow Curse and Ceremorphosis aberrations. But in my eagerness, I put far too much faith in the abilities of Aradin and his band. We didn't even get close. I've chosen a successor as first druid, Francesca of the High Forest. A bird's already been dispatched to summon her. Precisely. Who indeed? You do not know, and neither do any of the others. The Grove needs to move beyond the mistakes of the past. What it needs is an unknown quantity. An outsider who can enforce the Oakfather's teachings without bias. This is why I chose Francesca. She will restore simplicity and purity to the Grove in my absence. Resentment will spring up like mushrooms no matter what I do. You cannot please everyone, and you'd be a fool to try. Now, we've quite the journey ahead. Best get started.
Come on, let's go!
Never a dull moment. Moving in. Something good here, I hope. At least things have stayed interesting. Is that blood? No, never mind.
Hey, good looking.
Shouldn't have wished to live in more interesting times. Should mind my step.
Oakfather's blessings to you. Studied one up close. Closer than most would care to be to those things. A drow attacked me and I defended myself. Afterwards, I was able to examine the tadpole that emerged. Hideous, but fascinating. Like nothing else in nature, I'm glad to say. Precious little. But I'm quite certain it can still be found.
Aradim was convinced there was a hidden entrance in the Temple of Seluna. I'd start there.
There's hardly anyone left to share the responsibility with. Few who witnessed the fall of Moonrise still draw breath. What Ketheric Thorm unleashed is not something that nature can undo by itself. I must do what I can. I studied the Shadow Curse for years, but to truly understand it and stop it, I must reach its source. There are few things that are too strong for me. And cast those regrets aside. You did not get caught up in the moment. You seized it. In other circumstances, I would have done the same. A bad impression. Impossible. It's had the whole region around Moonrise Towers in a chokehold of darkness and despair for years now. Those who remained are shadow-cursed. If you don't die at their hands, then you become one of them. We have to get to Moonrise, but the less time we spend in its blighted surrounds, the better. Perhaps, but we'll need to get closer before I can put my theory into practice. Put it from your mind for now. Once we're near the curse, then there will be more to be said. With such stimulating company? Never better. You wish to speak? It's had the... We have to get to Moonrise. You wish to speak? You wish to speak?
The Blade of Frontiers in the guise of a devil. I'd remark on the irony, but I'd hate to waste the breath. Still, it took guts to defy that petty patron of his. The Blade's sting is real. I'll consider it if I am in need of relief. Until then, I'll enjoy watching you squirm from the anticipation of it. One couldn't, and one shouldn't. Do as you like. The loss is not so much mine as yours. Of course you have. If I'm in the mood for a lay, I'll know who to call on. The party's full. You'll need to make room. Well chosen. An efficient path.
Another. Thy name has been recorded. I shall be here in thy camp. As thou...
Still alive, so that's progress.
Objective noted.
Ever believe this?
Blacket's will be done.
long road ahead.
Enough waiting. I crave blood.
Looking ahead. These boots have seen everything.
I promised I'd be back. Don't worry. I have things under control. For now. I see you've been using the powers the tadpole gives you. Good. But things haven't gone as you expected. You hoped a druid as powerful as Halsin might be able to remove your tadpole. But he couldn't. You're desperate to be rid of it. Understandable. But you're looking for solutions in the wrong places. It's complicated. But I'm an adventurer, just like you. Just like you, I was infected with a mind flayer parasite. Just like you, I seek to be free of it. But to do that, we'll need to think beyond local healers. Your parasite is unusual. It is wrapped in magic that prevents its removal. Until the source of the tadpole's magic is destroyed, any attempt to remove it will kill you. You are lucky that Halsin knew this. His instincts are right. The parasites are merely a symptom of a greater sickness in Faerun. I am not sure yet. To find the answers, we must first find the source. These parasites are more than illithid spawn. They are vessels for control. The infected hear the voice of the Absolute and believe it to be a god. That is how the cult of the Absolute is spreading. The highest of their rank, the True Souls, carry a tadpole just like yours. It is how they receive their orders. It is what makes them obey. When the order to transform is given, it will not be a matter of days. They will be mind flayers in an instant. Were it not for my protection, so would you. Because we share a common cause and a common enemy. We are alike, you and I. I've been trying to escape from this evil for a long time. Once, I almost succeeded. Now, through you, I've been given a new chance. You can go where I cannot, and I can protect you from that evil. If we work together, we may turn this around. Hells, they need me. I have to go. No, I can handle this. For now. The power I used to protect you, I stole it from someone. They want it back. I will hold them off for as long as I can, but sooner or later I will be worn down. You must discover the source of the magic that controls the parasites before that happens. The cultists are gathering at Moonrise Towers. Use the powers your parasite gives you to convince them you are one of them. And when you find the source of their magic, destroy it. Go. Our freedom depends on it. You're desperate to be rid of it. Understandable. But you're looking for solutions in the wrong places. Yes. Halsin is correct. Your parasite is unusual. It is wrapped in magic that prevents its removal. Until the source of the tadpole's magic is destroyed, any attempt to remove it will kill you. You were lucky that Halsin knew this. His instincts are right. The parasites are merely a symptom of a greater sickness in Faerun. I am not sure yet. To find the answers, we must first find the source. These parasites are more than a lithid spawn. They are vessels for control. The infected hear the voice of the Absolute and believe it to be a god. That is how the cult of the Absolute is spreading. The highest of their rank, the True Souls, carry a tadpole just like yours. It is how they receive their orders. It is what makes them obey. When the order to transform is given, it will not be a matter of days. They will be mind flayers in an instant. Were it not for my protection, so would you. It's complicated, but I'm an adventurer, just like you. Just like you, I was infected with a mind flayer parasite. Just like you, I seek to be free of it. I've been trying to escape from this evil for a long time. Once, I almost succeeded. Now, through you, I've been given a new chance. You can go where I cannot, and I can protect you from that evil. If we work together, we may turn this around. Hells, they need me. I have to go. The power I used to protect you, I stole it from someone. They want it back. I will hold them off for as long as I can, but sooner or later I will be worn down. You must discover the source of the magic that controls the parasites before that happens. The cultists are gathering at Moonrise Towers. Use the powers your parasite gives you to convince them you are one of them. And when you find the source of their magic, destroy it. Go. Our freedom depends on it.